This is the Angry Video Game Nerd, and you're watching CoinOpTV.
Hi, this is Haley Bright for CoinOpTV. We're here at the 4th annual iam8bit show. Jim, tell me, where did you get your inspiration for these pieces, and what are the names of your pieces?
The pieces are Billy and Steve, and I got
Creative.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. And I got the inspiration from King of Kong, the documentary about Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe, which when I saw it totally blew my mind. I thought it was a great documentary. It was kind of like you couldn't make up those characters, you know, like the bad guy versus the good guy, the bad guy versus the underdog. And so I just wanted to, instead of doing like, you know, a Kubert piece or whatever, I just wanted to do pieces of Billy Mitchell and Steve Wiebe.
How did you come up with the concept for this painting in the background?
Well, I worked with John Gibson, who's the guy who got this whole thing together to do, like, he had an idea to do like an arcade with a long line going to King of Kong. And I love doing drawings of arcades. Like ever since like I had my Atari and I was trying to do like drawings of arcade games, like pretending my Atari game was like my own arcade and stuff like that. So I just wanted to create my own arcade.
Jude, how did you come up with this painting? And how did you come up with the title of the painting?
Well, the initial idea for the painting was I wanted to do sort of a painting that a gaming geek could hang above his like gaming system, sort of his shrine to the god of 8-bit. My inspiration was sort of like those like Hindu paintings you see of like Shiva, sort of this creator of the universe. So I came up with this idea of using Rob instead of God. Rob being the robot toy that would come with the original Nintendo system, and the idea that he created all these characters in 7 days or 6 days, and then on the 7th day he rested. So it's sort of like a creationist take on the Nintendo universe. So I actually sort of simplified a lot of the characters, so they're actually even fewer pixels in the characters than in the actual game, so they're sort of in their primordial state.
A lot of your artwork is based around storytelling. Where do you come up with these different stories?
I mean, a lot of it's kind of stream of consciousness. I start with a basic thumbnail and, you know, some ideas about how I want to express myself in this piece. And a lot of the work, you know, I kind of lay down a backdrop for my setting, you know, whatever the imagery will be. And from there, I just kind of, you know, use my thumbnail as groundwork for the story that will evolve around it. So a lot of it's kind of left up to the viewer. Like a lot of times I don't have like a definitive idea in mind, but I just like chaos. And I like to get a lot going on. And, you know, I kind of sculpt it compositionally. Sometimes, you know, I'll get to a piece to a certain point, and I feel like, you know, there's a certain story to it. But then there's a corner that's like vacant, and I need to attack it with some images. So it's not always about telling a story. Sometimes it's just about clutter.
What kind of medium did you use to create these pieces?
It's well, it started off with photos. I do this thing where I mix photography with pen and ink, like line drawings. So my friend Derek is a photographer, Derek from iam8bit. We staged the photos, we shot the photos, I pasted them down on paper, and then I draw out of the photos, creating like a new story. So the photographer sort of like starts the piece, starts the story, and then I finish the story with my drawings.
This one is video games because the whole show is about video games, so I did like 8-bit video games that got me really excited. But I also like dragons and mummies, so I always like to put dragons and mummies in my stuff too.
So there's like dragons and mummies and like everything you do?
Yeah. Like in elementary school, that was my thing. You know, you have to have your thing. In elementary school, that is like your best thing. Mine was dragons. And the girl next to me, hers was horses, and there was a guy with robots. And now it's like, you gotta be good at one thing in elementary school, and then you gotta branch out later.
How did you decide what characters to put in the painting?
I mean, I guess I went for the more obvious, recognizable characters, or just the ones that I was more into when I was a wee lad playing Nintendo. I mean, it sort of revolved around, I wanted to have a few very iconic symbols in the piece, so I used the Triforce from The Legend of Zelda, a Fire Flower from the Super Mario games, and a bow and arrow from Kid Icarus. And then I sort of, included some other very iconic characters.
So I've noticed that in the paintings, they're all black and white with like a pop color of yellow. What does that mean?
The yellow is just to spice it up a little. But actually, the thing I like about old school video games is they're very, very simple. The design is very simple. They're very graphic. They're very flat. So I felt like doing a black and white piece with gray tones and then just having one spot color, the yellow, it sort of fits into the vibe. And this isn't just a lame excuse, but it sort of fits into the vibe of old school video games. Just very, very simple, very graphic. You can spot it immediately, you know what I mean?
My pieces sort of started out being very political, and that sort of came out of wanting to sort of juxtapose the evils of the Bush administration with the evils of the characters in all these video games. So a lot of my early pieces were like Mega Man fighting, Dick Cheney, or Mario fighting, George Bush or whatever.
And that wraps it up for another episode of CoinOpTV. We'll see you guys next time.